My name is Luisa Rebull. I'm an astronomer at Caltech IPAC. I'm going to tell you what you need to know about the NASA IPAC Teacher Archive Research Program, or NITARP. Here's the punchline. There are a lot of programs out there getting real astronomy data into the hands of teachers and students, but very few try to do research projects, and NITARP does. Teachers and students are exceedingly capable of using research-grade data and tools, and they're capable of doing real research as long as they have an astronomer mentor. They will rise to high expectations. They get really excited about doing real research, and despite the learning curve, they love using the research-grade software and data. This does require a long-term commitment, by which I mean at least a year, from the astronomers and the teachers. It is a large investment of time, but it can change teachers' lives. Educators continue after their time with NITARP to incorporate things that they learn from us into their classroom. There are so many programs out there that get real data into the hands of teachers and students that I like to think of it in terms of this funnel of interest. The broadest part of the funnel, the part that reaches the most people, is the simplest citizen science. You don't need deep understanding, you just need a browser and an internet connection. The most interested people from that tier might be pulled down further to work with real data. Fewer people can do that, and you need a deeper understanding of what's going on. From that tier, you can pull off the most interested people and down to contributing real data. Even fewer people can do that, and you need a deeper understanding of what's going on in order to do that. The most interested people from that tier might get pulled down even further to do original research. Very few people can do that, and you need a really deep understanding of what you're doing and why in order to participate. So the base of the funnel is grad school in this model. Everyone should know that there are a lot of programs using real astronomy data out there that populate this funnel. Everyone should know that all levels of the funnel are important because the programs at each level are vastly different in terms of goals and audiences. But NITARP is near the bottom of the funnel. As part of NITARP, teachers get an authentic research experience using real data and real tools. The way that we do that is we partner a small group of educators with a mentor research astronomer. They write a proposal, it is peer-reviewed, they have to respond to the comments, they do the research, they write out the results, they take it to an American Astronomical Society meeting and they present in science sessions, and they model in that way the entire research process in 13 months, from writing a proposal to results. We've been operating since 2005, and so we've shaken the bugs out. The participants must be US-based, and as I record this, we're actively recruiting for 2022. I don't know exactly what pandemic chaos is going to rain down upon us, and here's why that matters. A lot of that work is done remotely, but the heart of the program is 3 trips. We bring them the teachers to a January AAS meeting to start. We have a kickoff NITARP workshop the day before the AAS starts. And like anyone who's gone to a AAS, you know the first one is overwhelming. And so we ask the teachers to just bring themselves on that first trip. They go home, they work, then they come back to Caltech JPL for 4 days in the summer. They can bring up to 2 students per teacher that we pay for, and they can raise money for an additional 2. They go home, they keep working, and they go back to the January AAS to present the results, again with 2 students per teacher that we pay for, and they can raise more money. Much of the work is done remotely, but these trips are really the heart of the experience. NITARP participants have to use data housed at IPAC in their projects, but fortunately there is no shortage of data at IPAC. There are several different archives at IPAC, and URSA alone, data from URSA contributes to at least 5% of the world's professional astronomy output in terms of referee journal articles every year. NITARP participants use the same interface that professional astronomers do, and the key to this is that we have relatively high-level data products in the archives. You don't start by grabbing data and starting to reduce it. You start by grabbing photometry that somebody else has done off of calibrated images, and it's ready to use. This high-level data products in the archive is a relatively new thing even for professional astronomers, but we have thoroughly embraced it. Everyone should know that teachers and students get really excited about working with real data and real tools, and there is a lot out there. The tools that we use are identical to those used by astronomers, which means that they have a lot of dials and switches and bells and whistles and parameters. It makes it challenging for newcomers to master, but the participants are excited to learn how to use these tools. If we give them anything easier, it feels watered down and less than the authentic. Fortunately, like I say, there's a lot of data that's available, and moreover, the archives are undergoing a sea change. It used to be the case that you would go to archives, download data, and work with it on your computer. Now, the data's too big, and so we're moving actively towards doing some analysis at the archive as opposed to entirely locally. This makes the barrier to entry even lower. Everyone should know that teachers and students do not have as much control over their computers as astronomers do. Astronomy software is free, but teachers often have Windows or Chromebooks, and so they can't install software. So as a result, we use online tools like those at URSA and Excel because it is widely available. Few of our participants have programming skills, so programming Excel spreadsheets is about the right place to start. Some teachers get motivated enough to learn Python. Online tools are getting better all the time. I know of at least one effort that is moving towards research-grade photometry in a web browser. Everyone should know that up until the pandemic, generally teachers and students had far less experience working remotely than astronomers did, but NITARP alumni know how to do this. We've watched tools get better and better since 2005. NITARP alumni tell us that they felt they had a major advantage over their colleagues when the pandemic started because they knew the basics of how to work remotely. Everyone should know that partnerships only work if both partners are learning something from the experience. It is an equal partnership, and there's whole books on this topic. In NITARP, scientists are learning better how to teach, and teachers learn about astronomy data and how to access it and how research works. This kind of project requires a lot out of the participants, which has particularly been hard in the pandemic, but people love it. Everyone should know that working with teachers substantially leverages your influence. Even astronomers who are professors at large state schools teaching Astronomy 101, typically they're reaching a limited number of students per year. And if you change the way one student feels about science and about astronomy, about astronomers, that's great. But if you change the way a teacher feels about science, astronomy, astronomers, NASA, scientific endeavors, you can influence every student of any sort that teacher encounters through the rest of their career. And I just don't mean teenagers in seats in the classroom. I mean their teachers they talk to in the teacher's lounge. I mean everybody that they encounter through the rest of their career. And it's hard to beat that leverage. Everyone should know that teachers rarely get to collaborate with other people, much less people in other states. Astronomers collaborate easily and often everywhere, but teachers don't. They work in isolation in their classroom. They rarely share things, and they rarely have opportunities to work with other like-minded teachers. I didn't know when we started this that teamwork and sharing skills was a really important product that NITARP gives these teachers, but it is. We help them understand the benefits of working like this, and we help them establish a network of colleagues that they continue to use. Everyone should know that teachers and students have really never been on research trips. NITARP Summer Work Week is modeled on a research trip, which for an astronomer means get out of your office, away from your daily routine, just focus on science for a little while. This is normal for astronomers and, in fact, really enjoyed by astronomers. This is a new, very intense experience for teachers and students, and everybody at all levels. It comes away from these visits just amazed at how much we accomplish. Everyone should know that we really do publish results of NITARP team's work. Every team takes at least 2 posters to the AAS, one science, one education. Any given poster at the AAS doesn't translate into a journal article for anyone, not just in NITARP. And, not every NITARP poster turns into a journal article. To date, we have 70 science posters, 74 education posters, 8 refereed journal articles from astronomy journals, and 6 refereed education journal articles. I just want to highlight that this is not like in a NITARP journal. It's in the same places that professionals publish, and all of these are available on the NITARP website. Everyone should know that with the U.S. adaptation of the next generation science standards, teachers are being asked to teach in ways that they were not taught, including using real data. They desperately want to learn how to do this because they're trying to meet these standards. And we have 5 times as many applicants as we have spots for this program. People want this. People need this. An oversubscription ratio of 5 is kind of typical for astronomers, but is not at all typical in education. Everyone should know that teachers are used to literally being the smartest person in the room when it comes to their subject matter. Astronomers feel stupid all the time. It is literally part of our job description as scientists. Teachers are not used to learning stuff at this level rapidly, much less sitting side by side with their students. NITARP teachers learn how to learn in a completely new way, and it provides materials that they may think they understand now, but they continue to grow into them. They continue to understand more deeply how science works or how to use the data. Some of the teachers use an expression like comfortable frustration level. They might not get it right away, but they're willing to persist until they do understand. Everyone should know that teachers tell us that NITARP is life-changing. Unprompted, 11% of our participants in an exit survey used the words life-changing in describing NITARP. Many alumni have made major career changes as a result of the NITARP experience, and they do explicitly credit NITARP, at least in part, for their career changes. So evidently, we're doing something right. So the punchlines, again, there are lots of programs getting teachers in touch with real astronomy data, but very few try to do research projects, and NITARP does. Teachers and students are capable of doing real research. They get really excited about it, and despite the learning curve, they love using real software and data. This does require a long-term investment of time, but it can change teachers' lives, and educators continue after NITARP to incorporate the things that they've learned from us.